The last one here for today is on tangent, normal, and binormal vectors. So this is actually an application of derivatives for vector functions. So what is a tangent vector? The tangent vector is actually the derivative of r of t. So kung may r of t kayo, yun yung vector valued function natin. You're given your vector valued function, r of t. Then ang tangent vector will simply be the derivative of your r of t. So provided it exists and provided that your r prime of t is not equal to 0. So r of t at P is then the line that passes through the point P and is parallel to the tangent vector, which is your r prime of t. So dapat ang r prime of t is not equal to the 0 vector so that you can have your tangent vector. But because when you have r prime of t is equal to the 0 vector, then you would have a vector that had no magnitude. So you cannot have the direction of the tangent. Yan natin. So, ang unit tangent vector is given by this. T of t, ito yung formula. You take r prime of t, say you take the derivative of your tangent vector, and then take the magnitude of r prime of t. So while the components of the unit tangent vector can be somewhat messy on occasion, there are times when you will need to use the unit tangent vector instead of the tangent vector. So pag tangent vector lang, r prime of t lang. Pero pag unit tangent vector, then you should divide it by the magnitude of your r prime of t. Example, find the general formula for the tangent vector and the unit tangent vector of this curve. So, anong gagawin nila para ma-solve ang tangent vector? Kunin ang derivative ng r of t. So, what is the derivative of this? Mabilis na tayo dapat. Kasi sa calculus 1, you know how to take the derivative. So, what is the derivative of t squared? Can you still recall?
2t.
Very good, 2t. What is the derivative of 2 sine t? Nalimutan na kanina. Tinuro ko
Minus
bago
2
lang yan.
cosine.
Okay. Ang derivative ng cosine is negative sine. So, ang derivative ng sine ay positive cosine. So, you will have 2 cosine t. How about the derivative of 2 cosine t, K, here?
2 sine.
2 sine.
Ay, negative 2
Derivative of
sine, ma'am.
cosine is negative. Yes. DC and S. So, you now have the following. Ito. R prime of t is 2ti plus 2 cosine t, j minus 2 sine tk. Then how to get the unit tangent vector? You simply take this one. The magnitude. Panuling magnitude, you will have square root of, kung ano to, square root niyan, squared. Squared din ito. Then plus squared din ito. So you'll have 4t squared. Then you square that becomes 4 cosine squared t. And when you square that, it becomes 4 sine squared t. But if you rewrite this, you factor out 4 here and 4 there, then you will have 4 quantity cosine squared t plus sine squared t. But what is cosine squared t plus sine squared t? Di ba 1 minus siya? So you will have 4 times 1. So you will have 4t squared plus 4 times 1, which is 4. So the unit tangent vector is then this one. T of t is 1 over square root of 4t squared plus 4. 2ti, diba? Derivative of this sa taas. Derivative r of t. So r prime of t ito. All over the magnitude, which is this. Or you can rewrite it as such. Now, diba, merong tayong tangent, tapos ano pa yung nakalagay doon? Normal at saka binormal. Okay? So, dapat alam niyo, correct yung tangent vector kasi pag mali yun, mali na yung sunod. So, find the vector equation tangent line to the curve given by this. So, at t equal to pi over 3, substitute na lang sa result ng r prime of t. We have this. R prime of pi over 3 is this one. I leave this to you ha, itong part na to. Kasi substitution naman lang. I-plug in lang naman ang t equals pi over 3 sa result. So, ang vector equation is this. Please verify this and check this out again at value. So, before moving on, let's know a couple of things about the previous example. First, we could have used the unit tangent vector had we wanted 2 for the parallel vector. However, that would have made for a more complicated equation for the tangent line. Also, notice that we used r of t to represent the tangent line, despite the fact that we use that as well for the function. So, I mean to say, ang r of t is much like y is with normal functions. So, with normal functions, y is the generic letter that we use to represent your function r of t. So, how about your unit normal and binormal vectors? Natin. Ang unit normal vector is defined to be, okay, di ba kinuha natin ang unit tangent by making use of r prime of t. Pag kunin nyo yung derivative ng result, yung tangent ninyo, then that will be your normal. So, take the derivative now of t prime of t, and then divide it by the magnitude of t prime of t, then that would be your normal vector. So, ay sabi ko kanina, pag mali yung unit tangent vector ninyo, mamali na yung normal vector kasi derive man yung normal vector from your tangent vector. You take the derivative again. And then, ang binormal is actually again derived from your n of t and your p of t. Tingnan natin. So, from here, as I've said, akin na lang itong I'll leave this to you for you to read, no? Kasi nandito yung mga notations. Yung facts about r of t, this one, orthogonal atong. Binormal itong formula. That is, ang result ng tangent. Saan ang galing na uli ang tangent? Can you recall again paano kinuha ang tangent natin? Hello? Hello guys. Saan ang galing ang tangent? Nalimutan na kaagad. Saan galing ang tangent? Can you still hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Saan ang galing ang tangent na nga kanina? Kinuha ang derivative ng?
Normal?
Hindi. Ang tangent, kinuha ang derivative ng vector-valued function ninyo na r of t. Diba? Ang tangent is r prime of t all over your magnitude of r of t. Tapos, ang binormal ninyo, ang normal ninyo is ang derivative naman ng t of t divided by the magnitude of t of t. T prime of t. Ito, tingnan natin ulit para makita ninyo. Ayan, no? Normal is t prime of t over t prime of t. Ang tangent kay, ito ang tangent. Yan. R prime of t all over magnitude r prime of t. Tapos, ang binormal is the cross product. Yes, ay, nasobrahan ko. Ayan. Cross product of t. Yung tatlong yun, ang tawag dyan is your binormal vector, unit tangent, and unit normal. Dapat orthogonal daw, no? To both tangent and the normal vector. May tawag din sa tatlong yan. Tawag dyan is your may solution na dito. Cross product uli, so ma-practice niyo uli yung cross product niyo, ha. P of t is equal to t of t cross n of t. So, practice niyo uli yan. Although, sa first prelim pa yun siya na topic, yes. Then, you can make use of that one. So, kung you are given the unit tangent vector, this one, if you are given your R of t, then you can find the unit tangent vector. You can also find the normal vector, and you can also find the binormal. So for problems 1 and 2, find the unit tangent vector for the given vector function. Find the unit normal and the binormal vector for the following. This is on page 18. No? Find t squared 1 plus 3 minus t cubed. So this is an example. You can take a look at this example later on. Yan yung solution. Number 2. Example yan. Kailangan pa ba siya i-explain? Hindi na siguro. Okay na siguro pa. 29 hanggang anong page ba? Let me just go through again. This one is na yung summary na. Summary nito. So, ang n of t is can also be rewritten as k of t, which is a curvature vector. Curvature is supposed to be not equal to 0, no? And make use of your unit normal as such also. Tapos ang b of t is your t of t cross n of t. Ang tawag sa tatlo, ito yung gusto kong i-emphasize. Ang tawag sa t of t, n of t, b of t, of a curve r of t is your moving trihedral. So when you are asked to find the moving trihedral, ibig sabihin, meron kayong r of t, tapos hahanapin nyo yung tangent, yung normal vector, at saka yung y normal vector. Kasi itong tatlong to is the moving trihedral of your R of t. Ito yung tsura ng moving trihedral ninyo, no? Kung meron kayong vector function, then ito yung vector function ninyo, meron kayong tangent sa vector na yon, meron kayong normal vector, perpendicular, at saka ito, binormal is supposed to be your this vector ito. Normal, and then you have your binormal. Then you have your tangent. May solution ba itong 31? Okay. So, ang exercise ninyo, activity ninyo is 1, 2, and 3. Tapos, number length of art. Okay. So, activity which is due, today is 19, 20, 21, due on 28. 28 is a Monday, right? The next meeting, 28. Pag holiday sa Monday, I'm not sure, is it a holiday? Na-declare na ba?
Yes, ma'am. Holiday na po.
Yes po,
Okay.
ma'am.
Pag holiday sa Monday, we will not meet, but you are required still to take a look at the recorded lectures na nakapost, no? Kasi makukulangan kayong number of hours if you're not going to watch the recorded lecture. So, ang activity ninyo, I'll just give you time na lang, hindi na lang ninyo i-submit sa Monday, kaya holiday na pala sa Monday. So, the next meeting, which is on a Thursday, at least may 1 week kayo, no? So, you are required to have your activity 3 due on, ito, 1, 2, 3, the first 3 numbers here. So, page 31. Propose ko uli ito. Tapos, and number 1 here, find the length of the arc of the curve from t equal to 0 to t equal to pi over 2. Find the unit tangent, unit normal, unit binormal of t is equal to pi over 4. So, 1, 2, 3, and then ito ang ika-4. You can do the rest as an exercise here, pero ang require ko lang is this one, this number, plus yung first 3 numbers dito. So, this will be due on Thursday next week. Pero on Monday, you have to watch the following video clip. So, let me just end this one. Escape. Close.